So with that, we'll talk about the things that we addressed overall with the class. Number one, the talent level is probably the best that we've had since my arrival back to East Central. The thing that's unique about this class is the character of these kids matches the ability, which is very rare and very hard to get, but we feel like we really did a great job, got our message out of who we are and what we're wanting to be, and the kids grasped onto that, and we ended up with a terrific class. The other area that I think is probably best about this class is our athletic ability. The ability, the speed and size and range of these players is going to make an impact not only at East Central, but I think in our conference for a long time, and that's a good thing. We had a nice breakdown of players. We had several from the state of Oklahoma and a few from the state of Texas, and then we had a couple transfers in from California and Mississippi. We also were able to defeat some FCS level schools on 2 or 3 of these young men, and anytime you're able to do that at our level, that's a terrific thing too. But being able to sell who we are, the things that we've been able to achieve with our program, the facility upgrades that we're currently in the process of doing, and having players' futures looked at by the NFL and other professional organizations has catapulted our program to a point where we're going to attract and get these kinds of kids. With that, I'll talk a little bit about some of the class breakdown. I've got a few of my notes here scribbled, but we concentrated heavy on the back end of the secondary. We signed 6 young men back there. All of them are very rangy. I'm not going to talk about each and every kid right now. I'm just going to address them more as a position. But there's a lot of size and speed in there, and they're really able to do more than just one intangible that we necessarily looked for. We wanted guys that not only could run and hit, but could cover the fields and make tackles and have the flexibility to turn and run and cover and play man. So with that one, we moved to our defensive line, and we were able to sign several inside players and outside players, defensive ends and defensive tackle. We got great strength and power and great leverage players that have terrific hands, and then our edge guys are guys that can play with great body lean and run and play from sideline to sideline and ultimately do what we want them to do, which is harass quarterbacks, and we think that we signed those guys. At receiver, we got an extremely talented crew, and that's really the synopsis of this class is just the athleticism of some of the skill kids that we got. Again, we were able to grab some kids that had terrific size, great ball skills, great body control, great leaping ability, have the ability to make contested catches, and demonstrated those abilities not only in football but in other sports that they were playing or currently are playing and stuff like that. They just, every place that they showed up, they were making plays, and with that speed and power and coordination and all those things, I mean, we felt developed into a great class. Our outside linebacker position is another position that concentrated on speed and toughness. We feel like we've got some guys that know how to put the hammer down, that are sure tacklers, that can run, backpedal, take on blocks, and do the things that we consider to be important fundamentals within the game. Quarterback, we signed 2 kids. Of course, we've got a terrific one coming back, but we also signed 2 kids that are really good players. One of them's an absolute diamond in the rough, really put some big numbers up there. The other one has just great pocket presence, poise, posture, knows how to manage an offense, and we're really excited about both those young men. Tight end, we were able to sign a kid, Ned Adair, and he has got great hands, great body control, knows how to block, fits into our offense and what we do. And on our offensive line, we were really fortunate to get some size and athletic ability that we can develop. We've been able to put some good linemen out in the conference and up for All-American and things like that over the last couple of years, and really have had some great pass protectors. But we signed two kids that just, have enormous size. Jeremy's 6'9", 6'8 and a half, 6'9", and Sean is 6'7", and both of them are started on their basketball team, which gives you indication of their ability to move in space. Running back, we signed a couple players that just flat know how to get yards and put the ball in the end zone. Some of their stats are almost ridiculous that you could put up those kinds of numbers. But in the big picture of things, the numbers just tell you what they can do and how they did it, and that's what showed up on film. Our inside linebacker position, we ended up with a group of just very physical run and hit players, guys that love the game, guys that love contact, guys that have expectations of how to play the game, and that was, again, with our search and what we do, we really study the intangibles. I mean, we really don't have any interest on how many schools recruited this kid or that kid, or what all his stats were. All that stuff's fun and it's important, but we watch the film, we watch the tape. We look for certain intangibles that we feel like we can coach, that we feel like we can develop, and ultimately that we feel like can put championship material out on the field, and that's what it's about ultimately, is winning those championships. One last position I didn't address early was we signed a long snapper also. Again, no part of our game is untouched. I mean, we feel every position that has value, if they're playing in the game, there's a value, and we signed a long snapper from a California junior college named Christian Castellanos, and we're really pleased with the group of this team. I also, would say that we signed Robert Vanderripe and Kellen De La Rosa. Both are out of California junior colleges. They started class here in January with us, and Joel Reeser signed with us, and he is an offensive lineman from NEO Junior College in Oklahoma. And then we signed a running back, JoJo Snell, out of Mississippi, out of Gulf Coast, and JoJo's got outstanding speed and durability. So, we feel like we have a great class. I feel very comfortable saying it's our best class that we've signed since I've been here. I would like to thank my coaches for their diligence and their hard work. There was no place that we did not go and see these kids at numerous basketball events, wrestling matches, visiting with them at school, and setting in with their homes. They did what it took, and because they did what it took, we ended up with a good class, and I appreciate all that.